afternoon, friends and fellow travelers. It's Brandon, and Ash and Winston are with me today. And today we are at Amnicon Falls State Park, close to Superior. And the goal for today is to follow along this northern Wisconsin Waterfalls Loop that we have seen posted in several different places, seen it on Google Maps, seen it on Facebook. So the goal is to do quite a bit of it today. And we start non-traditionally. Traditionally you would start at Pattison, but we elected to start at Amnicon Falls, which is a stunning state park, again close to Superior, Wisconsin, and not far from Duluth, of course. We have featured this place in a short before, so you have probably seen it on our page, on our YouTube channel or on Instagram. But like I said, this is just the technical beginning of this Waterfalls Loop. So there's plenty to see today. If you can even hear me at this point over the roaring Amnicon River right here. It does look like it could rain. I felt a couple sprinkles, so we'll see. Ash and I really like this park. And you can literally drive down as far as you want, all the way to this parking area close to that bridge that you can probably barely see ahead. And it's a Wisconsin state park, so $13 daily for Wisconsin plates, $16 for out of state. And today we bought our yearly pass, so that's $28 for Wisconsin, $38 for out of state for annual passes. And that expires the end of the month that you bought it the next year. So it would be next May at the end. We're going to continue along. Up the trail we go a little bit. There are some areas for seating. We haven't walked on this side. We walked from the other direction the last time we were here, as the falls get a little greater. Stopping by here. View back up the river. Sure is a magnificent place to start off this waterfalls adventure. And cascading over to that other side. Mild temperatures today up here by Superior. Roughly in the upper 70s. Close to 85 at home, but up here a little further north, they're calling for upper 70s. So beautiful day to be exploring this waterfall and the entire northern Wisconsin waterfall loop. And a new place for Winston, as he is off to the races with that crazy nose of his. I'd say we're probably 20 minutes from Superior here. The big north woods that you see. Now, unfortunately, there are some pretty large fires right now in northern Minnesota. So we thought about possibly Grand Marais this week, but due to those fires that are burning up in the Superior National Forest up there, we decided to come over and do the Waterfalls Loop with you. And eventually here we'll get back on that scenic byway of the St. Croix also. That is just beautiful. Can't make it up, friends. Wisconsin has tons of waterfalls to explore. I'm glad we could bring you here today. A higher point of view The Snake Pit Falls here at Amnicon Falls State Park. And that's not even the biggest one. There's got to be 10 waterfalls at this park at least. I don't know the specific number, but there's another one right here. There's also the Twin Falls here, and you can walk. We can walk straight down to it over on this side. And then, of course, Little Amnicon and Big Amnicon Falls further over on the trail that we'll walk. Wow. Welcome to the Northwoods of Wisconsin, friends. So happy to be able to bring you all along with us. I wonder what those big stone walls are about right there. Must have been a bridge at some point. And it continues down. Mosquitoes are starting to pop up. They're not heavy yet, but they are starting to make themselves known. Few people here today, but not very many. It feels like we really have this place to ourselves on a Wednesday in May. And we'll certainly take that. It's very comfortable outside. Ash has got a light jacket on. And even another waterfall. And we didn't go on this side of the park last time, so we weren't totally sure that this was even part of it. But this is actually the official Snake Pit Falls right here. Oh wow. What a dramatic beginning to this Wisconsin Northern Waterfalls Loop. And it goes all the way down there. That's why they call it a snake pit, because it's so narrow. Huh. I don't know if there's a view of that. Looking back at it from this angle. I've done some photography at this park, but apparently I haven't even scratched the surface of all the waterfalls here. Winnie. Hi. Hi, Bubba.
You like that?
You like the waterfalls? Yeah. Hard to see. It'd be easier to see this portion in winter, I suppose, or cooler before all the foliage comes back. We weren't totally sure we were going to have an adventure this week, but so happy to be able to start it with Amnicon Falls. Dramatic sweeping views of this river area. We haven't walked to this section of the park yet. I'm guessing it all kind of wraps around. Another angle of the river. And down we go. Yeah, the river is hustling. And it's red. And you'll see that in some of the highway sections that are paved heading up towards the loop. You'll see that red road. No, probably not. Last time we were here, we were following along the other side, which we'll show you soon. There is a little selfie post, if you want to call it that, right across from us right there, that the state of Wisconsin provides in several of its state parks at the scenic spots. And we'll show you why. You can't get a great view of it from here. But that's one of the Amnicon Falls. Of course, there are big and little Amnicon Falls. And the scenic bridge is up here, as well as another parking area. We took the other way down the park road today and parked on this opposite side, hence approaching the bridge from a different angle. I like this bridge. It always reminds me of Washington State. Where you start to see more people huddled in this main area of the park. Walking across the bridge now. There it is, friends. One of the Amnicon Falls. You're able to go straight down to a viewing platform right there, and a lot of people Money loves it. A lot of people break that rule and get right up to it and get sprayed by the water. It's almost warm enough today for that. Back down river from a different angle. The bridge is right there. Twin Falls also in the area. Back down the river. There's that iconic view with the bridge. That selfie stand right there. That's big Amnicon Falls. Walking back towards the bridge. You squat down at the right angle, you'll get that waterfall under it. Certainly stunning. Back up towards the parking area. Some places to sit and eat lunch, picnic along the calmer sides of the river. Some information about the Douglas Fault and Twin Falls is also in the area as well. As you can see, extremely accessible to get to the upper and lower falls. Big and little, upper and lower. I guess technically it's the upper and lower Amnicon Falls. The lower is what we were looking at before, but just a few steps from the parking lot to view these stunning falls. Over here along the left side of the parking area, Now and Then Falls. It's two falls together. Again, feet, and it's paved from the parking area. This park just never seems to quit with its sheer beauty. What an amazing start to this adventure. Another angle, perhaps. The falls are right there. And Winston wants to go down and get into the river. Hey, 20. What a beautiful state park. He wants to drink the river water. Winston does really well with kind of being around water though. So for example, in that area, as we come across a beautiful seating area where you can have lunch, there were times when I had to let him go and carry Waylon, and Winston did very well to go, well, he was kind of dragging his leash around at that point, but he did very well to let go and stay exactly where I needed him to stay for that trail. So that was great. He does really good with listening, at least in that sense. But don't ever let us go on an adventure without Winnie, because the trash will be opened. Just kind of taking a gander at what we've got over on this other side. I haven't been down to this part of the picnic area. The campground is also right next to the park office, where you can get your passes if you choose to not pay with the kiosk at the entrance to the park. And then it takes back off this way. Lots of opportunities here just to enjoy, and you don't have to go very far out of your vehicle. This is not a strenuous hike by any means. It's not far. It's steps. I mean, the parking lot is right there, and we are on a nice nature walk next to the river, or creek possibly at this point, because the river is cascading over on the other side. So this may just be an offshoot. But you really can't go wrong with this state park. I don't know how you could. Some aspects of this park give me vibes from Banning. Some of them. But then other times I'm like, well, Banning gives me vibes of this state park. And Superior really is very lucky to have this and Pattison very close. Now at Pattison, it's the Big and Little Manitou Falls. And we have seen Big Manitou Falls, but not taken the hike to Little Manitou Falls, which I have to understand is a little bit longer of a journey. Another angle of the upper falls, 20 feet from the parking lot. And I'll show you what I mean about there being a platform you can walk down to as we head back up the river. And probably just about conclude our time at this first stop. Here's the steps to go down. To the platform. I mean, just take it in. It's roaring today. bridge in the lower falls. How could you make it up? Such a picturesque state park. Now friends, our next target for the day, here shortly on our way back. The mist hits us with the wind. It's the perfect little reward on a warm day. Not too bad to come down some steps, but relatively accessible for most. Walking back up towards the car. Our next stop of the day I was going to tell you about while we were down there, but that was futile because you couldn't have heard me anyway. Our next stop of the day is Lost Creek Falls. That is by Cornucopia, Wisconsin. That's going to be about an hour from here, just under an hour. Maybe some stops along the way because we're going to be driving right next to Lake Superior, so we'll see what's along the way. Northwoods, northern Wisconsin Waterfalls Loop. The entirety, when you look at putting the entirety of the trip into the GPS, it's approximately 200 miles loop. Takes about 5 hours of driving around it. And that, of course, is not factoring in the stops. So you're looking at a good chunk of time to fully explore the area. We were right over here. And we parked at a completely different area and then made it over here in just a couple of minutes. So very accessible to make it to the falls, multiple falls of this park very quickly. And back at that bridge, another wonderful sight of this park. We made it back. Friends, we appreciate you joining us today along on another great adventure. As we track along on this waterfall scenic drive, to speak of. One last look at the roaring waters of Amnicon Falls State Park. Our car is right over here. And I truly can't wait to show you what's next as we continue on this adventure. And welcome back, friends. Here we are at the Lost Creek Falls hiking trail. This will stop 2 today, 1.5 miles one way, and off we are. Close to the town of Bayfield. We're on the Bayfield Peninsula. So 1.5 miles to Lost Creek Falls. Now, when I was reading about this location, it is notable that you can walk behind the falls here, is what I read. So we'll find out soon. 1.5 miles. Shouldn't be too bad. And we'll be off again on our next journey. It's cooler up here. It's still warm out in the shade, but it's definitely cooler. I know I can speak for Ash and I both saying that we were hoping to find some food before we stopped here. But not a lot of amenities up in this area, to say the least. more rural area, at least coming from this side of Bayfield County. So pack water, pack food until you get over to the other side of the peninsula. There were only 2 other cars here, one of which was a volunteer who had a survey for us when we got out of our vehicle. And then there was one other vehicle here I am presuming is somebody out on the trail with us today. Pretty out here. No water yet, so they made little boardwalks. And the volunteer did lead us to some advice that there is a Siskiwit River Falls location about a mile from here that is worth checking out. So we'll see where the trail takes us today. You never know. If it stays this flat, 1.5 miles will take us a very short amount of time. So we'll see shortly, my friends. About 1/2 mile into this trail, it has become quite wooded. Noticeable temperature change, dropping from about 80 down into probably the low to mid 70s. Well, a few degrees. Turned into a beautiful little park, nice little hiking area. Fragile area, please stay off, hence the boardwalk. The boardwalks, although very small in sheer size compared to Congaree National Park, they still give me those Congaree vibes, walking next to a lower lining area on a boardwalk. The volunteer we met today said that there was one pothole, but otherwise a flat trail. And so far, I agree with that statement. Winston loves it out here. It's cooler on this trail. Yeah, there's your pothole. Fragile area. Here's another sign coming up. I'm curious because it is a reasonably well-marked trail. There's a bench. Oh, it's 1.5 miles out and back. This is the second rescue sign we've seen. Enjoy your visit and help protect Lost Creek Falls. Lost Creek Falls trailhead, 1/2 mile. So yep, we are 1/2 mile in to this 1.5 trek. 1/3 of the way there. Making good timing, actually. And then it's going to be food. Approaching the halfway point, the next boardwalk area turns into more of a half bridge. There's a little drop off with small amounts of water in a creek. Friends, Ash and I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you for all of your support, following us along on our adventures, liking, subscribing, commenting, and following us over on Instagram and TikTok, where you see a more photogenic side of our adventures. Whereas here, you're seeing the videos, but you're not seeing those behind the scenes shots that we take. We made it through the first mile, so down to a 1/2 mile. We're hauling today. 1 mile. Good speed, so 1/2 mile, and we will see. There are 2 sets of falls here as far as I understand from what I read, and you're able to walk behind them. And it's very well maintained. It's just a very calming environment out here, and I implore you, if you're ever near the Bayfield Peninsula, to take a peek at this location. And that's before I have even seen the falls yet. It gives you an opportunity to reconnect with the nature and gain that sense of peace. Even if you're out here in the Bayfield area and you're saying, you know, I need to get away. It's too touristy. I need to get out and do something that is not so much that. This location offers you that availability also. Finally, some water to speak of. You can start to see it down there. We're about a mile, I'd say 1.3 miles, so should be right here. Other than us being both hungry, this isn't a bad trail. I can assure you that'll be priority one upon getting back. Down the steps, and here we have made it. Lost Creek Falls. I see what they mean when they say you can walk behind it. And it goes all the way down. There's a picnic area down here. And a snowmobile trail even. A little bit of going on the rocks down here. Nice canyon. Gets dark in this area. And there it is. The view out. Pretty cool. Not Amnicon, but it has its own voice in nature, and it's beautiful in its own way. The water is not deep. Shallow enough for me to walk across. And your close-up. Wow. Beautiful. Continuing on, friends. Now, I'm a little wet from that journey. But being able to walk along the creek here is very cool. And being right next to that. Wow. It's rewarding. It's a beautiful little hike. I'm gonna walk down here along the creek, and then it's time to get back and have lunch. Hi, honey.
Hi.
Hi, Winnie. Winston. He's tired now. This is his second location today. That's a beautiful shot there with the waterfall in the background. Starting to see some of that humidity on the lens. I'll give it a little walk here down, just to see what else we have. The Bayfield Peninsula, known for stunning scenic views of Lake Superior, but also hidden escapes like this one, apparently. Pleasantly surprised by this location. And again, a mile and a half. I mean, you can get away and you're done in an hour and a half or less, depending on your speed. And there's a smaller fall. Winston would rather take the scenic route. He's going to walk into the waterfall. Winston likes to go for a swim while he's in. Water tip. Chilly. Not cold, not miserable. And the little area continues. When he's brave. Are you brave? And continuing, we're back at the half bridge. Getting close to about that halfway back point. What a location, my friends. And again, no cost. You just have to be in this more rural area of the Bayfield Peninsula. And that waterfall, I mean, there was one family here other than us. So, I mean, it is Wednesday, but not very many people here. And the description did say that the parking lot fills up fast. Well, I guess we fixed the right day. Moderate trail, I would say. The way back is mostly back uphill. But forested. The sun is largely obstructed by a lot of trees, so you're walking in shade, a large portion of it. It's warmer on the way back up, though, certainly. But very quiet, very peaceful. And you're able to take in nature of this area. And welcome back, friends. We made it the distance, all 3 miles. We're back at the Lost Creek Falls parking area. No camping or overnight parking. They make that very clear. Parking lot is relatively small, and they do not allow you to park on the side of the road. So worth note. Beautiful area. Beautiful trail. We really enjoyed it. We're hungry. And I might go stop at this other area that's a mile away briefly and end our video there. And then we'll continue on. Cultural history of the Siskiwit River Preserve. There's a little bit of information for you. I'm just going to walk through here real quick and then we'll call it a video, my friends. We'll see what we have as we are still exploring the Bayfield Peninsula and the Northwoods, Wisconsin Waterfalls route. You can already hear it. Now, the volunteer at the place earlier today said it was all boardwalked, so I guess we'll see here in just a minute. You can already hear the falls over here, the Siskiwit River Falls. It's interesting, I was finding out there is a historical town of Bell that also existed in this area. We drove right past an old cemetery that was rated all the way back to 1904. So that was interesting. Just me on this little excursion. Ash and Winnie stayed in the car for this one. We're ready for food, I can tell you. Well, we're going to continue on. It's just going to be a at least a two-part trip. And we can't wait to share with you. Switching to gravel, downhill. We are hustling. It's a very quick downhill. Oh wow. Not going to try and walk through all of those down trees to get to the falls here. Look at that, friends. Wow. This was a quick trail down. You saw it took me just a couple of minutes. Couple of minutes and here we are. Wow. This is proving to be quite the scenic day. The Siskiwit River Falls. I'm guessing you can continue to walk along here. Wow. Stunning. I continue walking this way for just a moment to see what we've got over this direction. Although I anticipate that was the main attraction of this area. Okay. Another little spot. Wow. And it empties out into this area. It's pretty. And there's a different angle of it. A beautiful location. Again, something that I would have not expected. We're gonna head back, my friends. That was the Siskiwit River Falls. And I just want to say, we really do appreciate all the support. I know we let you guys know all the time, but we truly do mean it. As we're now on this road to 1,000 subscribers. We can't wait to continue to adventure along with all of you. Whether it's following us on Instagram and liking our posts and pictures and videos over there, or following along on our vlogging journey to all these locations. Really do appreciate it all. It means the world to us that you all want to adventure along. We're going to finish the St. Croix Scenic Byway soon. Fort Snelling also. I truly do promise Fort Snelling is coming very soon. It's a great location. I can't wait to share that with you. And the volunteer was right. It is all newly boardwalked. So it's not so bad once you get down that first hill here. I'm sure going up is going to be quite the adventure also. As we run into another area of falls. It's a whole stream of them. A whole section of falls. Stunning. My friends, I really do appreciate all of you. Thank you for watching today. This was a great adventure. I can't wait to share more with you in the future. For Ash, for the kiddos, for Winston, for me, we'll catch you on the next adventure.